Alright, hello everyone. This is part 2 of Claire B in Resident Evil 2 Remake. Hardcore mode, no damage, S+. We are loading back in from me checking my footage after saving, as always. And we're going to do the sewer segment. Sewer segment is not actually that hard, doesn't take that long. As Claire, we don't need to go back to RPD 3, so it should be shorter than Leon. I don't know why I was sitting there. I think I got a text message. But regardless, we are headed through the sewer. I'm discarding the other ink ribbon because I don't need it, obviously. We're gonna come get the T-square crank handle from over here to progress. And I think I may choose to make a little bit of an extra trip here at the cost of time. Slight amounts of time. I do. In order to get the... or not? Maybe not. Okay. I was going to say I might get the SLS parts early. But we'll talk more about that later. We're going to try to get both of these zombies with one flame round. I don't succeed here. In order to get them both with one flame round, you kind of want to try to get them to group and then shoot them near both of their feet. That's how I get the most luck out of it. And then we're going to shoot the zombie whether if you can't save around there, that's fine. We're just going to shoot that other zombie as well that's already laying on the ground because he'll reanimate later and try to hit us, try to grab us, and we don't want that. We're going to jump down after opening that gate there into the water and grab the frag grenade behind us and then stick a left coming back through here in order to avoid this G-adult. That frag we just grabbed, I did not grab in Claire A, and it is an extra frag. I am grabbing it to show it's there, because I didn't in Claire A, and because it can make this next section coming up easier. Through this door, there immediately to the left, there's a barrel with some magnum rounds. And then we're going to come up the elevator, and there's another zombie on the floor that will reanimate later, so we're just going to pop him and unlock this door. We need to be pretty quick here. You're going to run through the door, run up to the rook plug, and quickly grab it before this zombie in the construction worker vest comes around the corner, because he will try to grab you. And then we're going to go back down. Now, for this G-adult that's sitting on the ledge below us, we're going to aim towards him and wait till we see his head go into the air, like it just did there. They will put their head into the air, and then it will wiggle like a worm, and they will submerge. They are submerging to avoid you being able to shoot them on a higher elevation where they can't hit you. And while they are submerging, they can't grab you, they can't pop back out of the water, blah, 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 until they're fully submerged. So you can take the time that he's submerging, if you time it right, to jump down off the ledge and run straight past without getting grabbed. Now, we're bringing the frag grenade down here in case you're running low on incendiary rounds, the flame rounds, or if you get grabbed by either that G-Mutant or any of these ones. It's a safety strat. We're not actually going to end up keeping the frag grenade if we don't use it down here, so feel free to use it. But I'll explain in just a second. So we're going to come down here, and there's some very specific things you need to do. So first of all, you want to stick left. You're going to see me up ahead. I'm going to start sticking towards this sewage and towards that wall right there. I'm going to go to the wall, turn, and run towards the left of this G-adult that's in the water. He's going to come out of the water and stun me, but he's going to push me toward where I need to go. Then I'm going to shoot the next one with a flame round. He's going to grab me, but the flames are going to stun him, and he's not actually going to do any damage. Then we're going to stick left again. Make sure you reload, Claire. If you hit reload, it may get canceled. Just be aware of that by Claire setting herself on fire, which I'm going to talk about in a second as well. So make sure you're reloaded, and then turn the next left corner and shoot that zombie that is only there in B campaign with another flame round, and then stick left and run past him while he's burning. There's another zombie in this room that's going to come to life, this one that I just shot, so we need to spend another flame round on him. And then there's another zombie upstairs that's going to come to life. I don't know why I went here first. And if you're fast enough, you can kill him with the spark shot by doing what I'm about to do. You can grab the plug, run straight past, jump down. If you are too slow, you need to spend another flame round, and you're going to be cutting it pretty tight on flame rounds, so just be careful. Don't risk it if you think you did it too slow, though. If you did it too slow, play it safe. Grab the spark shot if you can get it, and then just pop that into him. I even missed a shot, but it's not too big a deal. I'm going to quickly explain why, two things. First of all, we brought the frag in case you got grabbed by any of those G-adults, or if you're running really low on incendiary rounds, you can let that one G-adult that I shot with the grenade round actually grab you and then escape with a frag. Grabs do not do damage if you use escape items to get out. And G-adults, if you use a flash grenade or a knife to get out of a grab, the character will take a step backwards, and you will not be able to run past them. But with frag grenades, you can run past them. So if you're running low on rounds, you can save a round by just using the frag on that G-adult, or if you get grabbed by accident. That's how I brought the frag, first of all. Second of all, Claire does not actually take damage from setting herself on fire or blowing up grenades close to her when you shoot the grenade launcher. I just want to get that out of the way. It does 0 damage. We're going to run back out here with the spark shot equipped, and this G-adult can be in a few different places. It's RNG, it's random, but wherever he's at, you can just pop him with the spark shot. You don't even have to hold down the aim button to shock him. If you just run on by him after shooting him, they get stunned by the spark shot very easily. And then we're going to run up here, and this guy's going to pop out of the water and try to grab us, but all we're going to do is run backwards, let him miss, let him whiff his command grab, and then we're just going to run on by him. We're sticking to the left specifically because in B campaign there is a zombie that reanimates on the ledge to the right, which is why I don't recommend using the strat where you can climb the ledge in order to avoid that guy's grab, because in B there's now a zombie up there and you might get bit. I also like to stick to the left just because that zombie will fall off the ledge into the water, and I don't want to risk like somehow him grabbing me or something. I don't think he can, but just to be safe. When we're coming back up from down there, we're going to come get the SLS parts. So as you can see, I'm discarding this frag because we didn't actually need it. It was an extra. Since I didn't end up using it, we're going to discard it. And I'm going to go over to the safe and open it to get the custom SLS parts. I fuck up the combination here. The combination is 2, 8, 12. I don't know why I was having... Or 2, 12, 8. My bad. 2, 12, 8. It is written on the right side of the safe. Actually... the left-hand side of the safe, you're right if you're facing the safe. Now, just to mention really quick as well, there's so many things to mention. You could keep that frag if you wanted to. If you really wanted to, you didn't end up using it, you don't have to discard it. You could run all the way to the item box and bank it, but you're just going to be wasting extra time on trips. So I just discarded it, but you have time to spare if you'd like to. We're going to come back to the item box and store away the T-square crank, the magnum rounds, the spark shot, and we're going to grab out the SLS. Yes, we are grabbing out the SLS, and we're grabbing out the grenade launcher stock and equipping it to the grenade launcher. Make sure you have all your flame rounds as well. If you had more than that one stack, you originally brought with you, take out the rest of your flame rounds. We also want the 3 chest plug pieces, obviously, that we have in our inventory. I'll take this time to quickly explain. The custom SLS parts allow the SLS to fire high caliber magnum ammo, which makes it a slightly weaker magnum than Leon's. We are currently loading the magnum ammo into the SLS for the boss fight coming up. It comes with 5 rounds in it when you equip the custom parts. And then we're going to go ahead and solve this chess piece puzzle. We take the knight, replace it with the king, put the knight over on the right-hand wall to the left. We're going to put the rook in the middle beside the knight, run over to this bishop, replace the bishop with the queen, and then put the bishop beside the queen in the middle. That is the combination, or the solution, for B scenario. It is different from A.
On my way.
I also discarded the regular 9mm rounds earlier that I got out of the SLS after switching ammo types. That's just because I didn't need them, and I didn't want to actually accidentally, switch to them during the boss fight. We're going to turn on the power, which the solution in B scenario is switches 2, 3, and 4. Then we're going to start G2. So we're going to run along this yellow hose to get G2 to try to hit us. Then we're going to hide behind this green hose right here, or wire, or whatever it is. We're going to shoot G2 in the arm with a flame round. I should mention that we only do this in order to try to get G2 to not stab his claw through the ceiling 9 times in a row. Because as you're going to see here, I got a bad damage roll and he actually kept stabbing his claw through. Normally I would actually spend another round to speed this up, but I didn't have enough rounds to spare, which is why I'm talking about this. If you don't have enough rounds to spare, you don't have to shoot his claw to try to speed this up. It's just a speed run strat to make this go faster, which I do to save a little bit of time and also not have to wait so long. But regardless, whenever he pops the shutter open, you want to run past him and shoot him with one flame round. This will cause a little bit of damage and also allow the proper timing for him to whiff this wall behind you, so he's not right on your ass when you drop down off the platform right here. I'm going to explain how to one-cycle G2 as Claire, which is a little bit trickier than Leon. We're going to hit the button to move the crate. We're going to grab this flashbang. We're going to throw a flashbang at G2. And we're going to go ahead and pop one flame round into him, and then 4 magnum rounds. We're going to switch back to the grenade launcher, run over to the corner of the room, either corner, really, and we're going to wait until he stands up. We're not going to shoot him when he's on the floor. So, wait until he gets up, and then pop him with another flame round, then throw another flashbang. He should have walked a little bit towards you during that time period, and you're just going to reload the grenade launcher and fire 2 more rounds, and then start walking towards the button while reloading, fire 1 more round, and then hit the button after firing the 3rd one. If you did that in the correct order, you should have one-cycled him, and he shouldn't be able to hit you. It is a little bit tricky. If you saved the frag grenade from earlier, you can do an alternate method where you fire 1 flame round, 4 magnum rounds, same as we did at the beginning. After flashing him, of course, you flash him, 1 flame, 4 magnum, and then when he's on 1 knee, you can throw the frag at him, and then when he stands up, 1 flame round, and then flash him again, then only 2 flame rounds. You save a flame round doing that, and it's also a little bit safer, I would say, because if you fuck up your timing at all with the strategy I just showed you, it can be bad. I don't do that strat, though, because I don't like wasting the extra time for the frag grenade, and I know it's not really necessary. I've practiced this method, and I've gotten it down. But if, honestly, without practice, the frag grenade method is easier, so if you'd like to do the frag grenade method, with less practice, you could do that. I just recommend practicing this fight, though, and doing it that way. I hope I didn't forget to mention to also grab... I think I forgot to mention to also grab another flash grenade out of our box. If I did, I apologize. Again, this is why you watch the video first and then play through with the information that I've given you. We also wanted a flash grenade going into that fight, and I think I forgot because I was too busy talking about the SLS custom parts. I'll finish talking about the custom parts too. I keep getting caught up with too much information. The custom parts allow it to fire magnum rounds. I mentioned that. It makes her magnum almost as strong as Leon's unfocused. So her magnum focus shots, aka when the reticle is sighted in fully, does the same damage as Leon's upgraded magnum unfocused without the focus shots. So it's a weaker version, but that's what we get those custom parts for. I forgot. I thought I had the regular default Claire costume equipped here, but I did not. I had her jacket equipped, and when you have jacket equipped, she keeps the jacket from the beginning of the game the entire time, which changes 2 things. First of all, it made it so I didn't take my jacket off here like I was supposed to and give it Sherry, so Sherry has spawned a second magical jacket. It also made it so my jacket never got dirty, which I was wondering why my jacket never got roughed up. It's because I have the wrong costume equipped. But we're going to bring Sherry in here, grab the flame rounds off of the desk at the beginning of Nest, and then run to this item box, and we're going to put away the Magnum and the grenade launcher and your flame rounds. In exchange for taking out the spark shot, we're bringing the spark shot with us for this, just to save on flame rounds, because you should be pretty low right now. I only have 1 left, and if you've been following my route, you should be around that number. Don't worry. This is why I mentioned earlier that on flame rounds we're going to be a little bit tight, but we can still make this work. We're going to run in here, banker right, grab the frag off this body, turn around, and there's a needle cartridge on this countertop. Go ahead and grab that. I'm just going to reload however many shots are missing from my spark shot. Up here, you're going to drop down a hole, grab some large gunpowder to the left, and then a combat knife. Make sure to equip the combat knife when you pick it up. You're going to see me do that, because you don't want the frag equipped when we walk through this door, because there's going to be a zombie. I almost forgot to equip it. And if the zombie grabs you, you're going to let him grab you with the knife equipped. That way you can use it to escape and then get an easy spark shot on him. But you just want to spark shot that one zombie. Run into the nap room, grab the flame rounds off the desk, grab the spark shot upgrade out of the locker, combine it, and then grab the ID wristband upgrade and combine that. And we're going to stick to the right-hand side in this hallway as to not open that door to our left and risk a zombie stumbling through and maybe grabbing at us. It's not too likely, but there's really no reason not to stick right. So we're doing it.
Dr. Lee, your presence is urgently requested by Chief Cartwright in the East area.
And the signal modulator, which is used to restore the power, is received early, much like the bolt cutters in the B scenarios for Leon and Claire. It's beside that USS Soldier before the, or right at, I should say, the first bridge you extend. Make sure to grab that, obviously. That's gonna, not only is it a key item, it's gonna allow us to do some parts of the lab, or nest, early and faster than the A scenario, which we're gonna use to our advantage to save time. Makes nest a little bit easier in B scenario than it is in A, which is funny, because RPD 1 and 2 are actually harder in B scenario, but the end of the game gets easier. I'm gonna stop in, and I think I make a second save here. Normally I only save twice as Claire, once in sewer and once before G3. I'm gonna save 3 times because, well, there's 2 reasons. And one of them's kind of petty. Oh, I'm grabbing the grenade launcher and mixing rounds first. We have a large gunpowder now, so we can mix it with the white, and then there's a blue on this table right beside the box we're at. So you can take that blue and you can combine it with the other white from earlier, and you can make 2 sets more acid rounds. You want to pull out your flame rounds here. If you don't have enough, 3 is fine. Like, I only have 3. 3 is fine. If you don't have enough, bring some acid rounds. Just a few, like 2 or 3. And we're going to take out the SLS again, and we're going to reload it with Magnum rounds, but then we're going to put away whatever extra you have. You just want to make sure it has 5 Magnum rounds in it. Then, like I just said, I'm going to run over here, and I'm going to save. Again, I was mentioning earlier, the main reason that I saved was really just because I wanted to change my costume. I'm aware that I could have changed it in-game, but my thought process was that I'll go back to the main menu and do it off-screen, switch back to the tank top, which I was supposed to be wearing, or the default costume, which would have been in the tank top by this point. The second reason is actually because in Claire A, when I recorded it, I didn't show 3 save points, and you can save 3 times in order to get an S rank. I only saved twice with Claire, personally. But if you want to save 3 times, I'd recommend saving here, because you don't need to save before G4, as he is a cakewalk with Claire. So, we're going to go ahead and grab this white gunpowder on the tray to the left, and then run past the first IV, because it takes him a while to stand up, so he can't grab you if you just run on by. And then we're going to enter the lab codes. These are different in B scenario. The first is 2048, I believe. And the second should be 5831. They were on screen, but I wasn't paying attention, of course. I was actually going to... I don't know why I didn't pay attention to the actual recording. I was going to go look at my notes to make sure that I wasn't lying to anybody. Then we're going to grab the dispersal cartridge. I'm just confirming that I didn't lie to anyone. That yeah, it's 2048-5831. But we're going to come down with the dispersal cartridge to the mixing room. We left that frag grenade, or flash grenade up there, by the way, intentionally. Don't grab that flash yet that was in the code entering room. As for the mixing puzzle that I'm currently doing, the combination is literally, in B scenario, again, this is another puzzle that changes, blue, red, green, blue, red, green, blue, red, green. You hit the blue button, then the red button, then the green button 3 times. That's it. It is very simple. It is only slightly different from the A scenario, so it's not that hard to remember. And then that's going to load up the dispersal cartridge, excuse me. And we're going to grab the frag grenade in front of this hazmat corpse. And then grab this large gunpowder on the desk, and we're going to combine that with the white from earlier to make acid rounds. Now, you want to pop this Ivy with the flame round, and then run on by him down the ladder. Again, Claire does not take damage from lighting herself on fire. It just slows her down. We're going to run down the left side here to grab another large gunpowder. And then we're going to equip the SLS that we took out earlier and reloaded in order to headcap some zombies. There are flame rounds on that couch, but I'm waiting to grab them. So we're going to run over to these 3 specific zombies, and we're going to pop all 3 of them. There's another one in the room, but he doesn't reanimate, just those 3. Then we're going to grab the flame rounds, and then because we got the signal modulator earlier on, we can restore the power early down here. So we're going to tune it to URF or ERF, and then tune the thing. I've mentioned this in like every one of my guides. I have a drift on my right analog stick, so it causes that puzzle to like jitter all over the place because there's a slight drift on my controller. But we're just going to restore the power, turn around, and then go to the save room back here. There is another white gunpowder on that tray, which I don't know why I walked away from. You can combine that with the large from just a second ago to make more acid rounds. There's more flame rounds on the shelf left of the box. And we're going to do a little bit of inventory management. Now again, you don't have to have exactly as many flame rounds as I have, but you should have around the same amount. We're going to put away everything but the key items, the grenade launcher, the acid rounds, and the flame rounds. There's a knife on the way out. We're going to grab that. It's on a tray as you leave the room. And then we're going to run down this hall. Now, I stop here and do the classic in A campaign. You stop, the slicker busts through, and then he'll aggro if you're running by this point. In B, we've already turned on the power and to the cooling room, which I'm currently entering. So you can just run to that door. In fact, if you watch my Leon B, I do that. I'm not really sure why I slowed down here, because I'm pretty sure the liquor won't hit you. I guess it's just force of habit. I wasn't really thinking about it at the time. But you can either walk like I did, or you can take the chance and run. I wouldn't really call it a chance, because I don't think you'll get hit. But if you really are worried about it, you could do what I just did there, just to be safe. It won't really lose you any time. Now, we've cooled the dispersal cartridge already. And I'm going to deviate from my Leon B playthrough. We are going to take a left out here and go up these stairs. We want to keep flame rounds equipped. I equipped acid for some reason. Don't worry about the zombie to your right. There's going to be an Ivy on these stairs because he spawns when you turn on the power. We're just going to pop him with a flame round and then run on by. Don't worry about the zombie that drops from the ceiling. Don't worry about the zombie at the bottom of the stairs. Then we're going to pop this zombie with another flame round. And we're going to go on through the door. Now, there was a white gunpowder in that room we just came through at the top of the stairs, but we're not going to be needing it. So, I just leave it. We're going to run in this room that we did earlier, and now there are 2 IVs in here, and we're going to pop both of them with flame rounds. You want to make sure you have flame rounds for those 2 IVs. In any other situation that I just talked about, like the Ivy on the stairs or the zombie, you could pop them with an acid round instead to get by them. We're going to grab the flashbang that we left on the table earlier, and then we're going to use the dispersal cartridge and come out here. Now again, it's better if you have some flame rounds for this part, but it's doable with acid. Just make sure you have plenty of grenades on you. We're going to pop these 2 IVs because that one decided to walk on top of his buddy, so I just decided to double team him. Grab the wristband upgrade, and then pop this Ivy because he's in our way. Let him burn. And we're all set to leave. Just clear yourself a path. Acid rounds? Oh, I should explain this first. There is an Ivy through this door. Immediately, you have to bank a hard left. If he grabs you, you have a knife and a flashbang. If any of these Ivies grab you at any point, you have a knife and a flashbang on you to use as defense items. I'll go ahead and explain that acid rounds will not down IVs in one shot immediately or stop them from grabbing you. A flame round will not down an IV immediately, but it usually stops them from grabbing you. Sometimes they'll still grab you while they're on fire, but it's not 100% likely, and also usually if they grab you, they'll burn to death before they can actually instant kill you. So you don't gotta use a defense item. Acid rounds do not work like that. You can be grabbed and killed by an IV if it's been hit by an acid round but hasn't died yet. You can down them instantly by firing 2 acid rounds, or you can wait a second and the acid will down them after a few seconds, but it doesn't keep them down for very long compared to flame rounds. So it's better to just stun them with the acid rounds and run by them. So we grabbed a frag grenade beside the USS corpse walking into this hall, and then we're going to do another signal modulator puzzle to restore the power. We're going to match these frequencies on the AWS frequency, or Oz. After I can get my controller to cooperate with me for long enough in order to solve it. And we don't have to put anything away at this box right beside us, because there's going to be another box right up ahead before fighting G3. I usually make my final save of the run as Claire before G3, because if you die to G4, or if you're doing a no damage run and you take a hit, it's only like 10 minutes of the game to have to refight G3 and G4. Yes, it's 2 boss fights, and some people might be scared, but G4 is a cakewalk, and technically so is G3, so I would just make the save before G3, which frees up your other save if you want to use it at the beginning of labs, like I said, like I did in this playthrough, to make things easier on yourself. Coming into this room, after activating the cutscene, we're going to run over and grab the white gunpowder off of the desk and the large gunpowder off the tray and make the final set of acid rounds for the run. If you've been following this routing, about the same, you should have around 34 acid rounds or so. You want about 30. We could have made more had I grabbed an extra blue gunpowder in RPD1, and then grabbed that extra white gunpowder I mentioned earlier that we didn't grab, but I didn't route it like that. But you can try to, on your own routing if you'd like. You could try to fit in an extra blue gunpowder to bring with you to make an extra 2 or 3 acid rounds by this point if you're feeling worried. But you should have around 30 for G3. We're going to go ahead and take the grenade launcher, all of our acid rounds, the SLS, and we're going to reload the SLS with full magnum rounds. It should be all the magnum rounds you have by now. You should have exactly 5 in the gun. And make sure to bring a couple knives. We bring the knives just in case G3 pounces on you and you have to use an escape item to get out. You could also bring flash grenades if you have some. Don't use any frags. Don't use any frag grenades. But because we're saving those for G4. But yeah, if G3 pounces on you, it's an instant kill if you don't use a defense item to get out. So I usually bring a couple knives, just in case. But yeah, we want acid rounds and the SLS, the grenade launcher, and the SLS loaded with its magnum rounds. We're going to equip the SLS for the start of the fight because I'm going to show you a strategy to make it slightly faster and take less acid rounds to kill. So you run up to his leg and you pop him in the leg with the SLS, then you run behind him and pop the back eye here. And then you could also pop the front eye after the leg instead. Then we're going to stun him and we're going to shoot him in the shoulder eye. Now I miss, and then it takes 2 shots to the shoulder eye. Now that's a little bit risky, so I only recommend doing it if you're careful and stun him first, blah blah blah. Why we do that is because, as you can see, the magnum rounds A, do a little bit of damage by themselves, and B, it stuns him and lets you shoot his weak point a bit with acid rounds, which you could also knife him, which is mostly a PC strat, but you can do it on consoles. See, I got pounced on here, and I had a knife to get out because of it. So that was good that I had that. But as I was saying, it does do a little bit of extra damage if you knife him. But mostly we are just trying to shoot him with acid rounds when he's down like that to do extra damage to make it so that it's a little bit faster and takes a little bit less rounds. I'm not really explaining what I'm doing in the fight because the basic concept of the fight, which I was about to get to, is just that you're going to shoot him with an acid round whenever he begins to walk, and acid rounds cause an automatic stun on G3. As you can see, every time he begins to move, you can shoot him again, and he'll get automatically back down on one knee. And you can basically just stun lock him. If you have 30 acid rounds, it should kill him in 30 acid rounds. You can speed up the process by, like I said, shooting him with the SLS in the eyes, or shooting him with the grenade launcher, even with the acid rounds in the eyes. Because with the grenade launcher stock equipped, the grenades are accurate enough where if you hit him directly in one of the eyeballs with a grenade, it will pop the eyeball. There's really nothing to explain for Claire in this fight. Whether you choose to do the SLS strategy at the beginning or not is your choice. It's basically just going to make it faster, or you might need to do it if you're running low on acid rounds, but you shouldn't be. You see, I finished it with 11 acid rounds remaining out of 34, so you should have plenty to play with. There's really nothing to that fight. There's a couple different ways you can do it, but at the end of the day, you can just stun lock him with acid rounds for the easy method. Claire doesn't really have to worry about G3, unlike Leon, because of acid rounds. So, we're basically through any hard part of the game at this point. As I said, G4 is pretty much free if you know what you're doing, and I'll explain how to deal with him. For now, there's just a lot of walking. It's just going to be a lot of walk-talk. Again, this is the walking and talking segment at the end of the game. We're headed back to Sherry, and we're going to get the wrist bracelet. Excuse me, fucking A. Upgrade. I cannot talk today or ever, and I will apologize for the commentary being so sporadic. There's always a lot to explain very quickly in these runs, but the Claire one, especially Claire B, it goes very fast, and there's a lot of information to convey. So I forgot a lot of things, and there was a lot to explain with no real points to interject them when I wanted to. So I apologize for that. But again, if you aren't following along, it shouldn't be a problem. My commentary being shit or not, you can just watch the footage and see what I'm doing, and then listen and have me explain it eventually.
Claire? Yeah? Thank you for being so nice to me. For helping me. I'm really glad I met
Friendship moment happening here.
I'm glad I met you too, Sherry. But save your thanks until I get you out of this place.
And we are going to get moving with the final section. So, coming up, there's going to be another item box, and you don't really need to get into it if you have what I have on me right now, which is a knife and some acid rounds, just to be safe. So you don't even need to really go into this box. What I would recommend having is 2 flame rounds or 4 acid rounds to be safe, at minimum. Not 2 flame rounds and the 4 acid. 2 flame rounds or 4 acid, at minimum, for either of those. And then a knife or 2, just to be safe, maximum safety. All of these Ivies here, as Claire, are already on the ground when she comes through, unlike Leon, where 2 of them are standing. So it's because Sherry is with Claire, unlike for Leon. So you can just run by all of them. You don't have to deal with them. Down here, though, the door is going to be locked, and Sherry is going to have to open it.
Of course. Stupid things.
Hold on.
2 Ivies are going to fall down from the ceiling. You just need to incapacitate them long enough for Sherry to open the door. If you have flame rounds, I actually had a few, and I just decided not to pull them out of the box, because I didn't want to get into the box. If you have flame rounds, you can just pop them with the flame rounds. If not, you can just shoot them with acid rounds like I'm doing. Like I said, it takes 1 acid round over a long period of time to kill one, or maybe sometimes 2. Or 2 if you want to down them immediately, but it shouldn't really matter. See, like, I'm going to pop him, and then he's going to die. However, his friend, like I was talking about, the acid doesn't keep them down for very long, and he got right back up and had to spend more. So, basically, if you want to do this with acid rounds, make sure you have plenty, and bring a defense item in case one manages to grab you. But you should be fine. Coming up here, there is a last zombie in your way. He has 50 HP, which is the lowest HP of, like, anything in the game. You can hit him with a knife swing, and he will die. So I just recommend popping him with another round of something that you brought with you. You could bring a handgun with you, pop him with 1 handgun round, whatever you need to do. Then, at this final box, we're going to put everything away. But those needle cartridges. I should have mentioned earlier, I think I forgot something else. There is needle cartridges and another frag grenade in G3's boss room that I didn't tell anyone to grab because I am a doofus.
Worth a try.
We're gonna keep the needle cartridges, grab the spark shot, just for safe strats, and we're going to grab out all of our frag grenades. The reason we've been collecting frag grenades as Claire is for G4. Inside of the train here is the double plug, so you need 2 inventory slots open after that last box. You should have that if you grabbed everything I told you to, though, specifically. And we're going to run in here, use the plugs, and then pick up the Gatling gun. I'm going to unequip the Gatling gun for the spark shot at the beginning, but you could just keep the Gatling gun equipped and do what I do with the Gatling gun, as long as you save 200 rounds for G5. We're just going to shoot G4 while he's on the top of the train once, and then we're going to let him jump off. And now, basically, all we're going to do is throw a frag, and now every single time that his eyes regrow, we're going to throw a frag at him. And we're going to stay to the sides of the train so that whenever he chooses to charge or swing, we can get around the train to be safe. If he tries to climb a wall, we're going to try to stop him from climbing the wall by throwing another frag. If he manages to climb the wall, just run around in circles, like around the entirety of the train, because he'll jump off the wall at you, or on top of the train, then at you. But regardless, you can avoid it by just running around the train in circles. As you can see, I'm literally just going to keep throwing frags in slow intervals, and this is going to kill him. It should take about 7 frag grenades. If you've been collecting frags to this point, you should have about 8 by the end. So, he should be dead right here. Now, when he dies, he actually crawls around for a bit, pathetically, like this. And you can speed it up by popping more eyes, but you don't have to. If you just let him crawl around, he will die. But to speed it up, I usually pull out the spark shot and pop him with some spark shot rounds in the eyeballs, just to make things go a little bit faster. You could also use the chain gun. You could use the chain gun for the end there. You could use the chain gun when he's on top of the train at the very beginning. Just make sure you save 200 chain gun rounds at least for G5. I would actually recommend 250.
I'm here.
Just don't spend all your chain gun rounds, because in B scenario, there is another end boss that we have to fight as Leon and Claire. And I like to save power weapons to help deal with those bosses. Now, if you're wondering why for the first time in any of my guides I'm letting a cutscene play, it's because, and I guess I should have mentioned this at the beginning, like I should have mentioned a lot of things earlier on in this commentary. I only, much like Leon A and B, practiced the Claire B route like once before actually attempting to record it, and I actually managed to get it no damage on my first try of a full practice run. I practiced RPD1 as Claire twice, just the first section. Then I did one full practice run, managed to get no damage. Then I did one more run, which is this one, where I actually did no damage and recorded it. So basically what I'm getting at is that when I first got to this point, when playing Claire B, I accidentally skipped this cutscene without thinking about it, and I had never seen the ending cutscene for Claire B. And so I decided, even though I was recording, to just go ahead and fucking watch it here, and decided it would also give me some extra time to explain anything that I might have missed explaining in the earlier sections, like I've missed a billion fucking things so far. So this is just a small interval, I guess, into the video. It makes it a little bit longer, but it's not much to wait for. I apologize if anyone doesn't want to see this, or thinks it's weird, because it's the only cutscene, that I didn't skip. But it gives me an opportunity to correct myself from earlier in saying, yes, we had to grab all those frags for that particular fight, and I'm sorry that I did not mention there was a frag grenade in G3's boss room. Lots of mistakes were made in the making of this commentary. But for G5, which is coming right up, basically he's a giant wall of sludge at the end of the train. There's an item box there you can pull items out from. I think you just need, with Claire, you probably just need the spark shot, your spark shot rounds, and the chain gun. The basic concept here is that he's going to crawl towards you, and the game wants to make you think you gotta shoot him the entire time. He has 20,000 HP, which sounds like a lot, but all of your guns only do half damage while he's crawling towards you like this. Half. So there is literally no point to shoot him right now. You're gonna wait until he crawls close to you, and he's gonna open up a big middle eye in his mouth, which you're gonna see. When this eye is exposed, all of your guns will do triple damage. So right here, now your gun is doing triple damage, and basically all you're gonna do is unload the fucking chain gun into him. if you saved about 250 rounds, you should have enough to do this and never have to even use the spark shot. See, so I didn't even use 200 rounds there. I just said save extra just in case. And you could just spray him at the beginning, I guess, to do like light half damage, but whatever. As long as you save about 200 rounds for when his eye is exposed and just unload on him, he shouldn't be able to eat you. You should be fine. G5 is just a gimmick boss. And that was Resident Evil 2 Remake, Claire B, on hardcore mode, with an S+ rank, no damage. This is the final no damage run that I'm doing on RE2 Remake for now. I plan on revisiting the game for some extra no save, no damage runs and redo all of these and their commentaries to be better. But for now, I'm going to move on to other projects, and I'm a bit busy with life right now, so I'm going to take a break from recording anything. Not that anyone cares. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed or that this helped someone even with as bad commentary as this was. Everyone have a good one. Peace.